Hey, this is Ethan. I'm in a diner. Um, hey, good evening, Dawn. Um, tonight, hey, Mary. Hey, Chicago. How's it going? I'm in a diner. I just saw a friend's show, and somehow I thought I'd be able to get home in time to start the show, but there was no way it was going to happen. So I thought, I don't know, maybe I'll just walk through. I'm right near Times Square, so I thought maybe I would walk through Times Square and do the show on the move. But I thought, no, it's going to be too stressful. So I thought I would just sit in a diner. I don't have my ukulele with me. Um, I have a cup of coffee, and yeah, that's what's happening. The phone is balanced on a glass of water, so it's a different situation tonight. Hey, Noro Geezer, how you doing? You have a sip of coffee. So I'm going to I'll tell you what happened, why I'm here tonight. So, woohoo, diner episode, yes. Hey, Nora Geezer, you missed a lot. You missed in the first minute. I explained why I'm in a diner and why I'm not in my home. Um, the diner, hey, Leslie, the soup of the day. That's a good question. I think it's called du jour. I think it's the soup today is called du jour. Um, I think it's called the Westway Diner. But I feel like there are many Westway diners in New York, aren't there? Um, Wait, Neurogeezer, why do you have to hit refresh? Oh, it's not because of me. Okay. So I went to see this friend in a show right here at a thing called the Producers Club on 44th Street. And I was looking at my watch just to see how am I going to get home and do the show. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I The show was great. The show was in Spanish. My friend is named Ronan. His last name is Swark. Ronan Swark, and he's like a media personality from Argentina, and he told the story. It's a one person show where he tells the story of his arrival in New York from the second he encounters immigration. Okay, thanks a lot. Oh, here comes the salad. Sorry. Um, I got the Greek salad arrived. Wow, lots of lemon wedges. Yes, Art. This is Ronan with an E instead of Ronan. Um, oh, the show is not parked ahead of time. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's not parked ahead of time. The one time I tried that, I had when I tried it. Yeah, you ever notice this with technological things? You try to take one step forward, and you take three steps backwards. I think that's the opposite of how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to take one step back to take two steps forward. But when I try a new thing with the technology, with YouTube or whatever, I find myself taking one step forward to take three steps back. Anyway, yes, the soup du jour, tonight it's not organic. The du is organic. The jour is canned. The jour is canned and it's full of MSG. So I'm skipping the soup du jour. Um, that reminds me, there was a lot of bad puns when you're in Europe. When I said pun, I don't know why I pronounced pun that way. When you're in Europe, I found there were a lot of bars that were called fly bar, which is ridiculous because they didn't realize that we call the word is a bar. It's a bar fly. It's not a fly bar. Is there such thing as a fly bar? It seemed like a European misunderstanding of how to do wordplay in English. Europe. Um, Mary. Oh, Beatrice. Ma you think me being in a diner is going to keep me from singing? I'm just going to strum on a dolmadakita. I'm, I'm going to strum on this beautiful stuffed grape leaf. And you know, one of those boy band groups from the late '90s was on the radio when I was about to start. So I thought, um, by the way, the salt and pepper were exactly what I was using as a tripod. I had the salt and the pepper as a place to balance my camera against a glass of water, but it seemed like that the height wasn't quite right, and it was a little slippery. It's all right if I do it like this, then it's a little more conspiratorial. Does this work? Then my hands are free. Then it really looks like I'm conducting some nefarious business here in a diner. But I will say, if you were looking for if you needed to conduct nefarious business, I recommend the Westway Diner here on 9th Avenue. Here on 9th Avenue between 43rd and 44th. If you have any kind of low budget criminal activity, meetings, that sort of thing, probably a decent place. Oh, so when the show was waiting to begin, yeah, I guess I could bring my ukulele to a public place. That's going to be a next step. So when the show was, so my friend Ronan Swark, you should look him up. He does like journalism, TV journalism, and he's doing this one-person show, and it's really cool. And it's called Estamos Unidos. Estamos Unidos. So we are together, or sort of like we are one, instead of Estados Unidos. So Estados Unidos is the United States. So it's sort of a play on words. The show is called Estamos Unidos. We are together, or we are one. And it was really good. It begins with the very first scene is him arriving at immigration and dealing with the ridiculous questions that he's getting, like, "Are you Taliban?" And I think the guy even asks him, "Do you have a bomb?" And he wasn't sure because his English is really bad. That's part of the story. That when he gets to the States 7 or 8 years ago, he didn't know any English, and so he wasn't sure. Like, he thought the guy was saying something about James Bond, but he was asking about a bomb. David says you should busk on a subway platform. You know what? Okay, I will do that. I gotta have more repertoire. I need more repertoire that's memorized. So that's gonna happen. Oh, here's a good song on the radio. Unchain My Heart? Is that what it's called? Unchain My Heart? Unbreak My Heart. Unbreak My Heart. I think it's like a Torch song from the late 80s, maybe? It's pretty good. All right, let me show you the salad. Our AI is so bad, I have offered to rebuild it from scratch for the San Diego area for free. Here's the salad. All right, I'm gonna have a stuffed grape leaf. We do have music. Very good. Yeah, she's saying unbreak her heart. Unbreak my heart. Say you love me again. Undo this hurt. Walk out the door. Something. Uncry these tears. Unbreak my heart. That's a nice lyric. Wow. She's really going up. Unbreak My Heart. I recommend this song. She's going up into some stratospheric tessitura. Oh, and then a Spanish guitar. So about the diners. So David complains. Listener David complains. Diner too fancy. It's gotten too upscale. Here's what I'm going to say about that. In New York, we used to have a thing called the Greasy Spoon. Maybe it was nationwide, but it was really a dive, a diner that was a dive. where the spoons were greasy. And we don't have them anymore. There's now the diners they're a little bit I wouldn't say they're upscale, but they're a little cleaned up. David cracking a flatulence joke. Thank you. Donald Trump's hit song "Unbreak My Wind." I like it. Um, oh my God, the salt shaker slipped. I'm telling you, I'm gonna need like a portable tripod. Yeah, the booth colors or something. And then also there's a little art here. Check this out. It's the Empire State Building. I just thought that we should have it should be called how about the Vampire State Building? Wouldn't that be a good movie about New York and vampires? The Vampire State? The Vampire State. Neurogeezer asking, are those bus routes? Yeah, they look like the London Tube map. I don't know what they are. I think it's a fictional subway map. That's what it is. Okay, the Vampire State. I think we could what do you call it? Crowdsource. We could just write this movie. Okay, the Vampire State. So the opening shot. The camera descends through the clouds on a stormy midwinter night in Gotham City, in the Big Apple. And Jesus, I need a better tripod situation. Maybe the oil and vinegar. No, the oil and vinegar is too slippery to be a tripod. Maybe the ketchup? I don't know, man. The sugar and the Tabasco. Oh, there we go. All right, the sugar dispenser. Oh, is that sliding also? Jesus, everything is slippery. I guess it still is a greasy spoon, like in the old days, because the camera. Yeah. Ask the server to hold it, and then, like, that would be a really big tip if you get someone to hold your tripod for the whole meal. Okay, let's try a dried out canned olive. Really good. David says, please berate the server. That would definitely be good for the algorithm. Oh, I wanted to share something with you all about my process. My process today was I was walking all three dogs at once, which is such a joy. I don't know why it is, but I feel like imagine if when you were, let's just say for instance, let's say your first car was like an MG, like a little convertible MG, like a 1968 MG, and you learned to drive on it, you drove it for a while, and then it ended up in a lake because you had too many beers and something happened. You're fine, but the car is no more. And you ended up driving all sorts of Japanese cars and American cars, and you get back in that MG many years later, and it just feels exactly right. It feels like a car. It feels like a car should feel. So walking three dogs now, I cannot explain it, but we used to have a pack of three, and one of them was the beautiful Boo, who was a Doberman Dane mix. And we had Loki and Fafi. We still have Fafi, but we had Loki and Boo. So now we have Gornamans, who's medium sized, and now we have this big Dane puppy. And walking the three of them together feels so great. So I was walking them today, and then an ice cream truck came by. So the ice cream truck comes by, and it's playing its It's the ice cream tune. I was going to say it's the Mr. Softy tune, but I don't know if it's Mr. Softy. It goes. The other people at the diner love me right now. Anyway, I heard that coming down the road, and I thought there need to be lyrics for that song. We hear it in New York all summer. The minute it gets warm enough, the ice cream trucks come out, and that infernal tune. It's sort of like like that circus song. It has a similar mind-altering. It's not hypnotic exactly. It's a little bit maddening. It's crazy making, but it's sort of the soundtrack of it's a big part of the soundtrack of summers in New York. So I thought we need lyrics to that, and I thought, the song comes out when it gets really sunny. So I thought the song should have the word melanoma in it. So melanoma. Melanoma. Anyway, that's all I have so far. But I wanted to share that. That was my inspiration. I know it's not exactly Sammy Khan. Yeah. Oh, so Vampire State, the Empire State vampire movie. I think it could involve an ice cream truck also. Oh, and a blood thing. Yeah, it's soft serve, and the blood, the business of, infecting other people with the vampire, through the bite. Maybe there's something in this version where it can be done through ice cream. I don't know. I need help. There is something always scary about the ice cream truck guy. That idea when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there was the Aton Pat's abduction, kidnapping, and my name in the family was Aton also. So I had a real fear of being kidnapped. And I grew up in the Bronx, and it was the summer of Sam, I think '77, and there were some women were victimized in my neighborhood there. So there was a feeling that the world wasn't that safe. There was Aton Pats on the milk cartons. There was the Son of Sam. Oh, David did a great episode on Son of Sam and what the dog's actual name was. Apparently his name was it Jefferson? I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't Sam. Yeah, so the ice cream truck, it seemed a little dangerous. I sort of felt like my kidnapping, it was just a matter of time until I was going to be kidnapped. That was my fear as a child. It wasn't that, oh, maybe I'm going to get kidnapped. Oh, no, I was definitely going to get kidnapped. It was just really a question of when. So I had a few episodes where there was one moment when a guy pulled up next to, I think, me and some friends or neighbors. We were walking on the sidewalk. He pulled up next to us, I think just to ask directions, but I just ran. And I think I even filed a police report as like a 7-year-old. Art says, I grew up in Bronxville and was terrorized about vampires for years as a kid. That's interesting. Yeah, vampires were never I wasn't particularly afraid of vampires. I don't know why. Probably because I loved The Count on Sesame Street. So it seemed cute and musical and educational, the whole vampire universe. For me, it was, do you remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? There's a guy who abducts kids and then he has them in a cage. I guess he gets them into a kind of candy truck or something and then gets them. That scared the crap out of me. I was pretty sure that guy from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was under my bed. There was a very good chance any night that he was under my bed and he was going to get me. I'm gonna have another cucumber. So this friend of mine, Ronan, he was a student at the American Comedy Institute, and I was teaching the workshop. So I ended up helping him write his sort of punch up and write his first stand-up comedy set. And now, 7 years later or whatever, he's doing this one-person show. It's really good. It's called Estamos Unidos. We are together instead of Estados Unidos. It's got a lot of great stuff in it. But what was interesting for me, it was the very first time I ever saw a theatrical thing in Spanish. And my Spanish isn't great, but it's pretty good. So I was really able to understand the whole show. There were some little jokes and details that I had to kind of confabulate what was going on. But I think I got a good 75-80%. Yes, Art. It's a great title. Also, what it made me feel was, all of this nonsense, all this bullshit, and David is doing a great job talking about it on the show. This made-up migrant crisis, this idea that it's a crisis. It is great that we have so many immigrants in this country and in this city, and it's great that we have so many people coming from South America and Central America and from all over the world. It's great. We need more migrants. We love the migrants. Migrants are just people. We're all migrants. We're animals. Animals migrate. We're animals. If we could just get this through our overdeveloped skulls. We're animals. Animals have to move around basically to get food and water and to procreate. And that's what we do. People move. That's what migration is. Migration is what we do. And this country is special. And this city of New York. I'm here right near Times Square. This is the cultural and financial and in other ways the capital of the country and of the world because of all the immigrants. That's what it is. That's all it is. There's nothing else that's very special about this place. It's just that it's a magnet for people from all over. So any of these dullards in Texas or wherever saying that there's not a migrant crisis. The crisis is if we don't have enough migrants. Anyway, I had this very strong feeling sitting in there listening to Ronan's story and being in an audience of Spanish-speaking people who all live here. You just suddenly have the feeling this is an incredible culture, incredible language, with a sense of humor, with people just trying to do what everyone else is trying to do. People are just trying to express themselves and make a living. And there's no this whole idea of making a villain out of a whole group of people. It's so atrocious. It's the worst of humanity. So, unfortunately, I was spending a little bit of time earlier this week in the comments section of an article in the New York Post, and I was just trying to answer some people who were talking about the immigrant crisis and about some people saying they were parasites and all this racist, reprehensible stuff. And I was just trying to answer with facts, like the fact that statistics unambiguously show that immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than people who are born here in the U.S. Immigrants don't commit crime. In fact, Ronan had a joke in his show about the fact that his first host, it was like an Airbnb kind of situation. He was paying $800 for a tiny, tiny room in which you could only fit like a child-sized bed. He was spending $800 a month to a guy. And occasionally there was like a rat. And it was like a terrible place. But he wouldn't complain because, as he said, when you're a migrant, you're afraid anything you do, any little stepping out of line will get you deported. So you want to be here in the States. You came, you spent all your dough. The comedian who opened for him said she had a choice in Argentina. She could have bought a house or gotten a ticket to come to the U.S. and start a life here. So she doesn't have a house, but she was here in the States. She had a good joke about it because it had to do with coming to New York basically for a dick. Her joke was she wasn't getting laid in Argentina, um, so she came to the U.S. and so she was homeless. But because she didn't buy a house in Argentina, she was homeless. But she was, I think she said bien, um, not jodido, but bien. I can't remember the word she used, but basically she was saying she wasn't housed, but she was well fucked. Excuse the vulgarity, which I usually don't do on the show, but I don't know the word in Spanish. Um, in any case, so he's living in this tiny room, and he's not even going to complain to his host, to the Airbnb guy, because any feeling of stepping out of line, you're afraid you're going to risk getting deported. So the myth that immigrants are causing a problem or that they're committing crimes or they're taking your job, it's all baloney. And also, immigration is great for the economy. We need more people. It's great for the economy. And it's a net gain to have more immigrants in your town or in your city or in your state. It's a net gain. It's good for your budget. It's good for your municipal budget, for your state budget, for the federal budget in the long term. That's it. That's it. Bien cogida. Thank you, Chris. That was the word. She said she was sin techo. She was without a roof, but she was bien cogida. She was well screwed. Thank you. Yes, Snicks. This country can't function without migrants. No country can. We need migrants. And then I tried to argue the Jesus route with some of these maniacs in the New York Post comment section. You know, I was a stranger among you, that whole notion that the job, what Jesus preaches, the job is to welcome the stranger, help the poor, feed the hungry, all of that good Sermon on the Mount stuff. Anyway, okay, enough of that. That's what's on my mind. I got onions. This is, by the way, a little cooking show. How do you make? This sounds like a riddle, but how do you make a Greek salad vegan? How do you make a Greek salad vegan? Yes, Jesus spoke English with a southern accent. How do you make a vegan salad? How do you make a Greek salad vegan? You remove the anchovies and the feta. I don't think the onions are pickled, but they seem to have some. There's rosemary. Oh, there's oregano on there. But I definitely ordered a side of avocado to make up. Oh, I'm going to berate David. You asked me to berate the waiter since my side of avocado didn't come. This is a little bit of action, a little interaction. This is the first time I'm going to have another. You know what? I'm near Times Square, so. Oh, there is really great vegan feta, Gio. I know that, but they're not going to have that in a restaurant. But yeah, there's this company in Connecticut that makes it's called VioLife. Any vegans or aspiring, or if you're vegan curious, try this stuff called VioLife. Doesn't that sound like a riddle? How do you make a Greek salad vegan? Pull his beard. No, that's how do you make Manischewitz wine. Pull his beard. There's a really good saying in Yiddish about onions. Oh, please, could I get that side of avocado? Okay. Yeah. Let me ask you. Do you speak Russian or
No,
Spanish? Oh, okay. Okay. I was just curious. My ear is apparently not working tonight. Okay, thanks. How do you make a Greek salad vegan? Take the Greeks out of it. Okay, that's pretty good. That would be like, how do you make it non-cannibal? I wonder if you can hear the. I wonder if you can hear the guitar. David suggests snap your finger at the server. You know, I won't do that. I don't do that. But When I was in Mexico, the one time I was there in 1987, I noticed that the way people called the waiter over is they would make this whistling sound, which would really sound rude here, but back then at least, they would whistle, but it wasn't like a full-on whistle. It was like a people would make that sound because you can hear that over the din of any restaurant. Anyway, in Yiddish about onions, they say, "Du sollst wachsen wie Zwiebel, mit der Kopf in Dreher." Du sollst wachsen wie Zwiebel. This is a Zwiebel. Du sollst wachsen wie Zwiebel, mit der Kopf in Dreher. May you grow like an onion with your head in the dirt. Which is, it's a nice homicidal imprecation. May you grow like an onion with your head in the dirt. That's a good expression. David, I'm not going to repeat that. Okay. All right. All right, I'm going to eat. I think we've done the show. Oh my God, look at that. We did the show. The hills are alive with the sound of music. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. When the things you've planned need a helping hand, I will understand always, always. Days may not be fair always, that's when I'll be there always. La da dee da da, ya da dee da da. I'll be here at 9 every night at 9, always. Oh my God. My posture was so bad to get close to the camera. All right, let's get a view of the salad. Yes. Some of our contestants will win a Greek salad. Your tripod tonight was salt and pepper. Your dressing was olive oil and vinegar. All right. Go table to table, David suggests, and offer to sing for a quarter. Oh, pepperoncini. It does, you're right. It's missing the pepperoncini, which is critical for the... Yeah, the pepperoncini is critical for the Greek salad. I don't know about this place. Oh, we should also play Guess the Price. I wonder what this little nothing of a Greek salad is going to cost. I'm going to say like $20. I'll tell you tomorrow night what it cost me. I thought it was, yeah. Yeah, it was a lemon. Oh, no, yeah, it's a lemon, not pepperoncini. All right, everybody. This has been a pleasure. I will see you. 24 is Dave's guess. So I'm going to ask you, you can, put in your guesses. Let's do a guess for the entire bill. A side of avocado, if they ever bring it. Greek salad. Hold the feta. Hold the anchovies. Diet Coke, which I just got because I'm in a diner, and a coffee. Oh, there's the avocado. Beautiful. Gracias. Aguacate. I'm going to guess 24 is probably, 35. Jesus. I think, Art, you might be right. 30. All right. Please remember your guesses.